This is my father's passport picture. This is Pop right here, and that's his younger brother, my Uncle Michael. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. So wrote Charles Dickens in his classic novel, Tale of Two Cities. So it was for the Zaharakos when they came to America. One branch of the family actually preceded my own, and they established the Zaharakos Confectionery in Columbus, Indiana in 1900. And it's still operating as a museum as well as an ice cream parlor with its original, magnificent furnishings and mechanical music instruments that was the latest technology of that time. Columbus is known as the Athens of the Midwest. And there's a picture of the parlor in the National Geographic, the September 1978 edition. And let me find it. Here it is. My paternal grandparents, John and Andania, were from the Spartan village of Agna, and they had 4 children. The eldest was my aunt Vasiliki, which became Alice in America. She was born in Agna. And then there was Uncle Nicholas and my father, Stavros, Pop, both born in Chicago. And then there was Uncle Michael, born in Brooklyn. It is my understanding that because of the concern of the worldwide flu epidemic of that time, that Andronia returned to Greece with the 3 little boys. In November of 1933, separated by the great ocean, John and Andronia passed away within days of each other. Somehow, with the help of their uncles, the orphans were all reunited in America. They came back in time for the Great Depression and World War II. Let me paint a portrait of their lives. Aunt Alice eventually settled in St. Mauritius, out on Long Island, with the boys, that's what she called my 2 bachelor uncles. She married Peter Drevis, who had Pete's Sweet Shop in town, and she had 2 children. George, who became a Korean War veteran and rose high in the ranks of Grumman Airspace, and Andronia, which was Tony in America, and she had 3 children. She did marry John Poulos, who was a pharmacist, and she became an elementary school teacher. I can still picture Aunt Alice's tidy house with the generous property to the Mauritius Bay, the largest holly tree I've ever seen, and always a plate of food out for any stray cats. Whenever Aunt Alice would visit our crowded railroad flat in East Flatbush, where my father raised his kids in Brooklyn, it'd be like a state visit from the Queen. I can still see my mother nervously scurrying back and forth, trying to make the place as presentable as possible. Well, after one particular visit, my mother was laughing. I was puzzled until she explained, I thought she was leaving by the wrong door. She was actually opening up our closet to inspect the contents. That Christmas, all of us received nice warm coats from her. Uncle Nicholas participated in the North African campaign and the liberation of Sicily, liberation of Italy through Sicily. I keep a picture of him. There's a picture of him in our genealogy book. He was very good looking. Let me find it. He reminded me of that British actor, Ronald Colman. Indeed, when he mustered out of the service, he actually went to Hollywood to try to make it in the movies. He went broke, which was his usual story, and he had to be bailed out by his uncles. Well, he settled for becoming the ladies' man of Santa Mauritius. He played golf in the local country clubs. He worked as a liquor salesman. You know, I believe he did a lot of quality control work for this store. Uncle Michael. He marched through Germany carrying a rifle. He woke in a British hospital after being seriously wounded by a German artillery round. His trips to Brooklyn were magical because he would show us card tricks that he learned in the service. Another thing he would do is place a close fist next to my ear and a open hand underneath my chin and declare, "I'm going to clean out your dirty ears." And magically, a bunch of nickels would clink into his open hand. Could never figure out how he did that. One day after church, during the coffee hour, a woman came over to me and asked, "Are you a Zaharakos?" And naturally I said, "Yes. Just want you to know that your Uncle Michael bought me my first pair of shoes when I was growing up as a poor little girl in Agna." When Cousin George lost his wife, he was left with two small children. Uncle Michael stepped up. He gave up his own plans of establishing himself. He became a surrogate parent. Well, Aunt Alice, Uncle Nick, Mom and Pop, Uncle Michael, your legacy of the unbreakable love that you had for each other and your children is cherished. You lived through some of the best of times, but you sure had to endure some of the worst of times. You validate the accolade, the greatest generation. May you rest in peace. Your memory be eternal. Thank you.